Here's the daily price chart for MicroStrategy Incorporated, stock ticker MSTR. As we can see here, the share price in MSTR is currently heading lower. We're seeing a bit of a downtrend here. This follows a very strong period of gains that the stock experienced for most of this year. We did see some fairly strong upside price action here. Um, and we have sort of consolidated at these upper levels. But more recently, we are seeing a bit of a decline here, and this is largely following the broader trend that's being seen in Bitcoin. If you're not familiar with this stock, MicroStrategy is currently used by large sections of the market, by those that are not exactly interested in purchasing cryptocurrencies themselves. There are some fees associated with cryptocurrencies that might not be present with stocks, and for that reason, some people choose to buy MicroStrategy instead of buying Bitcoin directly. This is largely because MicroStrategy has a large, cache of Bitcoin purchases, which were largely financed with debt purchases. The previous CEO Michael Saylor really has gone all in with this Bitcoin strategy, and currently this is a stock that's being used by large portions of the market as a proxy, as a stock market proxy, to essentially gain access to the Bitcoin market. As many of you probably know, if you follow this stock, you probably know that Bitcoin prices have been trading under pressure for the last few weeks. This is largely due to the fact that we're now seeing Mt. Gox cryptocurrency payouts, and these are largely being directed at the Bitcoin space specifically. And we're seeing roughly $9 billion in outflows in Bitcoin assets. So that's really dragging down Bitcoin, and it's really dragging down the rest of the cryptocurrency market as a whole. So for these reasons, it's really not surprising to see some of these declines in MicroStrategy. A lot of these were, we've explained that these declines were likely to occur in previous videos. So this really shouldn't be taking the market by much of a surprise here. But the real question is, how much farther can this activity continue? Where are we likely to start seeing support for MicroStrategy going forward? So these are the main questions that we will be looking to answer here in this video. So currently, we need to point to the fact that we are trading below some longer term exponential moving averages. Here we can see that the share price itself has fallen below this yellow line and the orange line. The yellow line is the 20-day exponential moving average. The orange line is the 50-day exponential moving average. And then in addition to that, if you really look closely here, you can see that the 20-day exponential moving average is crossing now below the 50-day exponential moving average. That on its own is a bearish signal. So when we combine that with the fact that we're also seeing share prices break below this level, it is a significant event, and it does suggest that momentum is clearly focused on the downside. In addition to that, prices have also broken below this purple line here, which is the 100-day exponential moving average. It's a significant moving average. I mean, it's watched by large portions of the market, and we have seen a daily close below this level. So this is significant here. And then so when we're looking at this type of activity, what we really want to know is whether or not these downside trending moves are really valid. Are they being supported by the indicator readings themselves? And there are some major questions here that do need to be answered. So here we have to look at the current reading in the relative strength index, which is found here, this purple line here. So this is the daily indicator reading. And here we can see that the stock is being characterized currently by a downtrend in overall momentum readings. This is a negative for the stock, and it does suggest that these recent declines are valid, and they are being confirmed by the indicators themselves. So that does suggest that we're not likely to see a bounce, quickly. We're not likely to see a quick bounce. In addition to that, we're not in oversold territory. If this indicator reading was trading a bit lower here, we might suggest that we might be ready to see a bounce here. But as we can see, the indicator reading, if you look closely here, is currently just below 40, roughly 39.80. So this means that we could still extend about 10 points to the downside before we reach oversold territory. This does mean that share prices can continue to fall further. So at this point, it really is critical for investors to start to look for potential support zones that could be used for potential buy trades going forward here. The final point that I want to make here is the fact that this trading volume indicator here is pointed in negative territory, is pointed in bearish territory. We can see that this larger kind of red candle here, does outsize the surrounding green candles. So overall, what this tells us is that trading volumes have increased. And these are mostly focused in the bearish direction. These are mostly sell orders that are being entered into the market currently. And they are larger than the kind of surrounding trends. They're not the largest that we've seen on this chart. I mean, as you can see, when this major rally was occurring, there was much, much heavier trading volume. So that is a bit of an encouraging sign here because, we're not approaching those types of levels. As we can see here, optimism in MicroStrategy tends to be greeted with much more forceful buying activity from the market as a whole. So we can point to this area here and say that, these trading volume readings are not quite as heavy as some of the readings that have been seen previously. So, we do have to acknowledge here that the balance of the evidence is still focused on the downside. So this means that we are more likely to see declines than we are likely to see rallies near term. So to the downside, the current level that I'm really watching here comes in just above the 1,000 mark. Specifically, I would really be looking at roughly $1,035 as a potential downside target here. This is quite a ways away from current share prices. As we can see, we're currently trading just below 1,300. We just hit 1,293 in MSTR share price action. So, we do have a bit of a ways to fall here. And the reason is that, we really don't have much to be seen here in near-term support levels. There's just a lot of empty space here. So there's nothing that we would really expect to catch prices and slow down the selling pressure just yet. Nothing like this really occurs until roughly $1,035, which does mark a prior low. If we look back to the lows from May 1st, we're roughly in this area. It's slightly below there. It's roughly $10 above the 1,000 mark. So it's not exactly 1,035. But I would also point to this blue line here, which is the rising exponential moving average for the daily chart, and it's the 200 period EMA. So these two indicators do come roughly in line with one another. Currently, the EMA, the 200-day EMA, is just below 1050. So if we're looking for kind of an average price zone, an average downside price target from here, I would currently be waiting to see prices fall to roughly $1,035 before considering new long positions in MicroStrategy Incorporated, stock ticker MSTR.